Welcome back to the channel. In today's video I thought I'd do something a little bit different, and that is to go over a few of my pictures which I have edited and just go through the process of how I have edited them for Instagram. And just as a side note, all of the photographs that we've taken here are starting with shot out of camera, so there hasn't been any previous edits done to these to the photographs at all. So there's going to be some photographs that don't really need much editing at all, and there's going to be others that will take a fair bit of editing to get the end result. So to kick things off, we are going to start with this goal photograph. And as you can see in my copy that I put onto Instagram, there's not much difference from the original to the edited version. So with this photograph it's quite simple. The first thing I'm going to do is go crop, then we want to go click on here, go 4:5, because for Instagram 4:5 is the aspect ratio to be using. And we're going to crop it in, and we're going to use the rule of thirds. So all pretty basic editing stuff really. You can put it at the top, at the bottom, wherever. So let's just say, for example, I put it there. Oh, on my Instagram picture I actually put it vertically as well. So around about there, we'll bring it down a little bit. There, so it looks as though it's sort of flying through the frame and it's got somewhere to go. Press done. That's it, our first edit. From there, we are going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. And this is what I do with all of my photos. First I crop it, then I will do the remove chromatic aberration and enable profile corrections. So then that obviously goes, just does all the corrections for the specified lens that you've got. So I've been shooting with the Canon 100 to 400mm lens, and it knows that. So next I go back up to the top, and for this photograph I just wanted to really blend the bird in to the background. So to do that, I sort of play around with the exposure. So you can also type in here, if you just type 1, enter, that brings up the exposure. So we're also looking at the histogram here. We've got a little bit of wiggle room on the right hand side, so we're not losing any detail on the goal at the minute. We can then play with the whites, bring the whites up. And to be honest with you, for this one, that is pretty much it. I could also look at the ISO. So my ISO here is 1600. So I could potentially go down to noise reduction and luminance and just put 20. And you can see that takes away some of the noise. And there you go, so there's the first photograph. I think in my original I popped in a bit further. So there's the original. Or, well, not the original, but that's the edited version that I put on Instagram. And then this is one I've just done just now. So if you want to look at what I did for that one, we can see that I played around with it a little bit more. But I've taken down some of the contrast as well, and taken away the highlights, but you get pretty much the same result. In fact, I think this one's better. I prefer it. Damn it. Okay, so next up we have the buzzard, which I photographed a moment before starting the 1 hour challenge that I did. And all I can say for this shot is, thank goodness I was shooting in RAW, which I always do. But as you can see from the one that I put on Instagram, we have recovered a lot of information in the shadow area. So again, you start with the crop. We put that as 4:5, crop in, move it over, just really to your preferred sort of composition. I think something like this is quite a nice composition. And then you can always go auto just to check, see what you think. If you don't like it, just press Alt Z, Alt Z, it brings it back. And if you really want to, you can always press reset down here and it just brings it back to the beginning. Likewise, if you make any adjustments to these dials along the side here, If you just double click on the dial, it brings them back to the middle. So yeah, with this one, we're going to increase the exposure by 2. So that's too much. You can see, again, looking at the histogram, we've hit the right-hand side of the wall. So we can press 1. That's good. We haven't lost any information on the bird, which is the key piece from this photograph, so we don't want to lose information there. We can play around with the highlights. I just want to make the background as white as I can, really, so I'll put the highlights up, increase the whites by a little bit. Blacks, we can just bring those down a tad, and then you can play with the contrast. I tend not to add too much contrast because I don't like it for whatever reason, but it's personal preference. Again, come down here. I did forget to do that, but you can do it afterwards, so that's fine. And then again, for luminance, we shot 500 ISO, so we don't really need to do much. But if you zoom in, there's a bit of noise there, so we can just put 10 to take that little bit of noise away. And bada bing, bada bong, that's another one done. Again, it is actually quite a bit different from the previous. Say if you wanted to make it more like that, more like the one that I originally did, you'd probably have to just rate. What I've done there is take all the shadows up. Oh, there we go. And I've got a lot more information under the wing of the bird. So that's how I got that. Moving on to our third and final image, we have got the sparrowhawk. And believe it or not, this actually landed in my garden whilst I was having a coffee on the patio. It actually caught in the grass here where its feet are, you can't see it, is a dead house sparrow, unfortunately, rest in peace, little guy. But yeah, it caught the house sparrow because we get quite a lot of them flying around in our garden on a regular basis, every day in fact. And he had caught one, he or she had caught one. And obviously I at the time didn't want all of this sort of garden, unnatural looking background and grass in the photograph, so I figured a way to edit it all out, and this was the end result. It wasn't perfect because obviously we do get a bit of green on the feathers, but I still quite like the way it came out. Now this one actually took quite a bit of editing to get it to the end result, so I'm going to go over that now for you, and you can always fast forward if you're not really that interested. So here we go. Again, we are going to start with the crop 4x5. I'm going to turn it portrait by just pulling that over to the right hand side, flipping it up, and this time I've chosen to put the bird in the centre of the frame just because that's what I wanted to do. I'm going against the rule of thirds and all of that because it's a portrait, and I want it to be on, when you're scrolling on Instagram you see it, it's just bam, that's it. So enable profile corrections and remove chromatic aberration again. Okay, so this is where it gets a bit tricky. So it does take a little bit of playing around, but I want to come up here to the graduated filter, click on that, or just press M to pull up the tool, and we're going to start from the bottom here. We're going to pull one up over most of it, and we're going to bring down the exposure, and we're going to bring down the blacks. And yep, this does look really bad. Don't worry, because we're going to add another graduated filter, and this time we're going to take it from the top. Whoops, I came off the tool. There we go. I'll take it from the top down, and we're going to do the exact same thing. Okay, but we don't want to lose too much detail around the head area, so yeah, we'll leave it there, and then we'll just bring in another filter from the top right hand corner. That made no sense, but from up there, and we'll same sort of settings for this one. play with the angle on it a little bit, and then bring in another one from the side, and then where this grass is down on the bottom left hand corner, we want to bring in another one. So as you can see, I've already ruined the photo. The photo is ruined around, especially around the head here. So we may want to just bring that up a little, because we do really want to keep that head, the detail from the head, we want to keep that obviously. So now we've got some white patches around here. We can press done for now on the graduated filler and play around with the blacks on the actual photo. So that's bringing it in some more, and bring that, oh, not too much. So actually going to go back and add another filter, not that one. So just press delete to get rid of that if you don't want it. Okay, bring that one in, bring the blacks in, just pull it over if you don't want it to be too big, and pull that one over. There we go. Okay. So again, this one will look different to my original, because I'm trying to do this quickly, whereas on the one that I put on Instagram, I took a lot more time editing it and getting it all how I wanted it. So we're just going to bring that exposure down a little bit more. So now we've got sort of the gist of the photograph. I'd say the head is a bit too dark, but now what you want to do is you want to take the adjustment brush and just click that on the eye. And in fact, what you can do, if I just take that away first, come off the brush, so if you just push down, zoom in. Now if you use the mouse cursor to make the tool bigger, just tap on it, and now I'll just use the exposure tool to make the eye a little bit brighter, just a little bit. Highlights, there we go, done, come out, and bam, just makes that eye pop just a little. So you can do the same thing with the body as well. So you can use this tool just as sort of a brush, paintbrush. There you go, you don't really want to go too mad. And so there you go. That is how I edited that photo. It's not actually perfect, so we'll go to the one that I did. You can see I actually retained some information in the wing and the bottom half of its body as well. So it did take a little bit more playing around. If you have a look at how many filters I've got on here though, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 filters. If you go to the one I just did, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, yeah, there you go. It's not too far off though. So there you go. That's how I edit a few of my photos. A really simple one that was pretty much perfect from camera. Another one that was not perfect from camera and I was saved by using RAW. And then another one that was a little bit like almost Photoshop, but it still wasn't Photoshop. Just to black out everything around it and really make the animal the main focus of the photograph. So yeah, well, there you go. So I was thinking for a future video idea, I could edit some of your photographs. If anyone is interested in doing this, then I'd recommend, or what I was thinking was for you to tag me in your Instagram photos with the hashtag #editThisWildlife. That way I'll know that you want me to basically take your photograph and edit it for you. If you do want me to do that, I'll feature, obviously the ones I pick will be featured on my channel. I'll probably pick about 3 or 4 different photos from different people, and depending on how well it goes, I may do more videos in the future. So yeah, let me know if you think that's an idea that you'd be interested in, a video that you'd like to watch, and if you do, then tag me in your photos and use the hashtag. So thanks for watching. I know that this was a bit of a different photo, but as we're stuck indoors right now, I figured why not go over how I edit my photographs and give you guys the opportunity to send in some of your photographs to get featured on my channel. So thanks for watching as always, and until next time, I'll see you out there.